Hello, everyone, and welcome to the XEP review for Retro Realms Arcade Halloween and Ash vs. the Evil Dead campaigns. Now, these are two different games that are available in one collection, and I'll explain more about that in a bit. Please know that a review code was provided by Boss Team Games, and it's fair to keep that in mind as we go forward. Now, nostalgia is the currency on which Boss Team Games is trading with here, because from the opening get-go, players are welcomed into what they call the Retro Realms Arcade. This is a central hub for current and seemingly future Retro Realms titles, as you see different arcade cabinets available to see, and others covered by sheets which imply they've got more cooking up. Players will earn tickets for this arcade through in-game traversal and challenges, and then they can take it to the museum within the arcade to unlock collectibles relevant to those franchises and put them on display. It's a real treat for horror fans, mind you, to come across things in the museum like the Michael Myers childhood clown costume, or if you like Ash vs. Evil Dead, to see the old school Oldsmobile there as a model. It's pretty darn cool, and I think it adds a flavor and flair to the ticket system that will be a nice callback for those of you that experience old school arcades. Nostalgia isn't only bound to the arcade museum, however, because each of the campaigns is a retro-inspired platformer that showcases the best of what 16-bit pixel art has to offer these days. It takes players through variants of the classic 1978 Halloween film, or at least in the case of Myers it does, or through iconic locations from the Stars series of Ash vs. Evil Dead. My personal favorite was guiding Myers through the slaughter of his world as we visited places like the sanitarium, Haddonfield, and a few other locations that I'm not keen on spoiling at this point. And then the opening level of Ash vs. Evil Dead plays perfect homage to the series, as you'll be almost immediately treated to laughs. And I absolutely cackled at the first boss. It was a blast and such a cool homage to what that character is available to do, say, and experience. In both campaigns, you are going to be treated to a number of different Easter eggs for fans of the series, and you will spot some of them instantly. But if you look closely, you'll recognize more of them than are initially obvious in the first look, and it's really fun to explore. As a diehard Halloween fan, I was grinning ear to ear when I spotted a character covered in a sheet and wearing glasses, or seeing the outfits of Haddonfield's consistently outmatched police force. It was fun, and I smiled, almost throughout the whole experience. Graphically speaking, as I said, you're in that retro-inspired 16-bit pixel universe, but it's clear that none of this was phoned in, and it really showcases what modern technology can do with that art style. Ash and Myers each have their own distinct move sets that are easy to control and glorious in action to watch. The controls are super approachable, by the way, so you won't have any problem picking up and playing with them, but you will get to do more nuanced things with them and unlock their move sets that will really kind of grant you a new way to play each time, which is pretty darn cool. These aren't palette swaps by any means. They're distinct characters. One of the things I loved was that blood effects would splatter the screen, and they really are animated in such a great way, rather, that the violence just showcases how alive, pun intended, this world is. I will also say that the ambient background characters move in a way that tells a story of their own. So keep an eye on the backgrounds, watch them. I think you'll be pleased. Way forward, they did a good job kind of telling a background story next to, our anti-heroes going through. Now, a key element of each level, world, campaign is this connecting force that has bound our anti-heroes together. And that's this nightmare realm that's ruled over by the Overlord. This is like a Lovecraftian monstrosity of a character that has forced Myers or Ash, depending on which game you boot up or which character you select, with his presence, and it is given each of them rather a way to explore the nightmare realm. That's easy to say. You're going to be toggling between kind of the standard levels that the level designers have designed in homage to each of these series and their nightmare realm variants. And I think it's super cool, super difficult, and very fun to kind of bounce back and forth in order to progress, to get collectibles, and make use of kind of this high risk, high reward platforming that the nightmare realm is so keen on. I will say the Nightmare Realm has as much detail as the standard reality worlds, if you want to call them, and it's a joy to see just what Way Forward and Boss Team Games really envisioned as far as twisting these worlds into something that is special, spectacular, terrifying, all that stuff. It's neat. As you progress through the worlds, gathering relevant currency to the character you're playing, you'll also be able to purchase new abilities ranging from standard health increases to more extravagant things like a big upward slash that aid in traversal for Michael Myers. Returning to old levels with new abilities makes claiming some of the initial unlocks that are hard to reach much easier. There were times, though, that I was failed repeatedly by what felt like very cheap deaths in the pursuit of some of those unlocks, those ledges, those collectibles. And it really did taint the experience of what I otherwise was absolutely loving. Those deaths would feel cheap. It felt like there was a very unforgiving checkpoint system, which I really didn't like. And I felt like I had to replay certain areas too often. Maybe better players will fare in a much faster way. But playing through the entire Myers campaign as Michael Myers, I was around the 8 hour mark. And I have a feeling that would have been much lower if some of those cheap deaths hadn't happened. Or, maybe I don't have the skill range that's needed for some of that stuff to do it easily, and you'll breeze through it. Let me know in the comments if that's the case for you. I felt like, though, it was meant to be an homage to old school difficulty, as WayForward is somewhat known for doing. But I didn't like it. I wasn't a fan. It felt cheap and soured an otherwise pretty positive experience. When I was able to get to the collectibles, though, I did feel a profound sense of reward. It didn't feel cheap, it felt rewarding. So there is a balance in that. Jack-o'-lanterns for Michael Myers, standard pumpkins for Laurie Strode, and pages of the Necronomicon for Ash vs. the Evil Dead. It was fun to go through. In collecting the jack-o'-lanterns, though, for the Michael Myers campaign, I was promised a reward of some kind, and I actually don't know what that was. Like, I got all of them. I don't know if I missed it or if there was some unlock, or maybe I need to do the same with Laurie Strode's pumpkins. Whatever it is, I don't know what I unlocked. So, in 8+ hours, I was bummed to not see like an alternate skin, a special mask from maybe one of the other movies, maybe the burned version. I don't know. If I missed it and you know about it, drop a hint in the comments because I would love to know what I did miss. Speaking of Laurie Strode, though, she exists as a pre-order bonus or an add-on, as does Kelly Maxwell for Ash vs. Evil Dead. I played through a good bit with Laurie, and she's a blast to play. Again, not palette swaps. These are totally different characters, and it's genuinely awesome to see how traversing the world as Laurie was so different than Michael Myers. Traversing the world as Kelly, so different from Ash in Ash vs. Evil Dead. I think it's also very cool that you can take these characters into their rivals' worlds. If you want to play as Laurie Strode in the world of Ash for Evil Dead, or see how Michael Myers would battle Deadite hordes, you can do that. You want to take Ash into Haddonfield, you can do that too. Rock on, get groovy, have at it. It's a real treat, and it opens up a number of possibilities for what would happen if more of those arcade cabinets are uncovered and they make their way into these old school games. Something that was neat. Each of the campaigns in this collection can be sold a la carte. And if you're interested in just the Halloween one, you can get that one. I think it's MSRP at the time of launch is $25. You can get them together for 50, obviously. I really liked having both of them because I could jump back and forth between them. It's very clear that Retro Realms wants you to have both because of the interplay between them, because you can take Ash into the world of Haddonfield, because you can take Michael Myers into Battle Deadites. They want you to do both. And it's kind of cool to think that just what might happen if other campaigns are unlocked. The conceit being that so many cabinets are awaiting reveal. We don't know what they've got cooking up, but it'd be really cool to see what a 16-bit platforming treatment with this kind of love would happen if it were Chucky or Jason or Pennywise, and how they might exist in the world of Haddonfield or battling Deadites, etc. Overall, I found myself extremely pleased with my time in Retro Realms Arcade, and I could see this being the start of something really special. WayForward and Boss Team Games have captured what makes these franchises special, but allow them to be approached in a new way, which I think is great. I know that I'll be making yearly visits to Haddonfield in the way of Halloween just because I love celebrating the holiday, and this is another great way to do it. I have a feeling that I'll be going and battling Deadites regularly with Ash when I'm feeling a bit more groovy than normal. But I would recommend these titles. They are fun, they are a blast, and I think whether you are fans of the franchise or just looking for a retro-inspired set of platformers, you're going to have a good time. Now, I will say this. If you have enjoyed the review, please hit that like button, share if you are able, and consider becoming a channel member to help me keep bringing great content to people. If I missed something in this review, drop it in the comments. Let others know what it was that I missed. Help me out to get better. Thank you for checking out XEP. Take care.